magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold.
Hey, Manette.
Hey, Michelle.
You know, we know a lot of magical people, don't we?
We sure do.
So let's create a radio show about power and magic within people.
Magic within people. How about calling it Internal Energies?
Perfect. But can we still present it with 702 Rocks?
Sure. Let's rock this show and have some fun.
Woohoo!
Welcome to the Internal Energies Radio Show with your hosts, Manette and Michelle. Now, let's cast some magic and bring out the hosts. Here's Manette and Michelle.
Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome to 702 Rocks, presents Internal Energies right here on Vegas, allnetradio.com. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Manette.
And welcome to the show. Hey, we're here on Vegas All Net Radio, and if you all don't know, you guys can all call in. 702-483-4444 is the number to call in. And Manette, we just got done working with Ryan this last Monday. We did some commercials. We did our intro. It was a lot of fun.
It was. That production time was fun.
Have you ever done any voiceover acting before?
No.
So it was your first time?
Yes.
Were you excited?
I really was. It was so much fun.
We got to script it out. We got to test what we were going to say and
shake out our sillies and dance a little.
Yeah, it was fun. We made some mistakes. We laughed it off. We had a good time. I felt like we needed to record it. But yeah, that's something here at Vegas All Net Radio. If nobody doesn't know that you can actually come to Vegas All Net and have your own show. You can actually purchase an hour or 2 or 3 if you really like. And with that hour at Vegas All Net, not only do you get your own production time, so you get to work with Ryan, you get to make your own commercials and intros, and not only that, but you get to have your own webpage. Irma, who is one of the boss ladies here at Vegas All Net, she is in charge of all the web designing. So that's something I really emphasize to people. If you have fun on Vegas All Net, maybe it's something you're interested in, you can actually have your own radio show here. You can give me a call if you like. My phone number is area code 805-748-5689. And I'm telling you people, this is a life-changing experience. Coming on Vegas All Net, getting to meet everybody, be a part of the Internal Energies group. Manette, you came here, 5 months ago?
Yes, and it's been fantastic. It really is life-changing. The team here is amazing. Irma's fantastic in graphics. We've got the queen of social media here.
Stop it. I love social media. I'm addicted to it. What can I say?
She's fabulous
Health,
with it.
fitness, and social media. Mm-hmm.
If you need any help growing your business, this is the one.
Thank you. And I got to give a big shout-outs to our sponsors, Gene Woods Racing Experience, More Family Dentistry, hey guys, Danny Vegas Live, I know you're listening, D-Man, hashtag D-Man time, Woods Family Sandwiches, go get some good grub at Woods Family Sandwiches, and of course, Permanent Makeup by Rebecca. She's not here right now, she'll be in next week, but Rebecca, I hope you're listening out there. But yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. Vegas All Net Radio, they actually have a green screen up. So John, the Magic Man, he's in productions, he is actually filming us right now. And if we wanted to have anything in the background with this green screen, we're able to do that. The magic is right here on Internal Energies on Vegas All Net. What do you think of that, Manette?
I think it's beautiful. Infinite possibilities of what we could be playing with as the background.
I know. We could be like in the link, in a little bubble. That would be kind of cool. We could be floating in a hot tub or something.
Yeah, what about a little submarine?
I know, holding my Mai Tai or something. That would be funny. So what have you been up to, Manette?
It's been a really busy year. I had my 2 books come out this year, and they both went bestsellers.
You brought them with you.
I really did. We've got The Energy of Healing and The Energy of Expansion. And
how exciting.
Really exciting. It really, really is. And the authors I got to work with were amazing. So it's just people from all over the world trying to offer people tools to create their own reality or make better choices or different choices in their life to choose more of what they want rather than being, reacting to this reality so much.
That's true. I always like reading a good old-fashioned book. Not that I don't like my Kindle, but, something about a book is very genuine. So are you. And I remember about 5 months ago, you came on the 702 Rock Show. You were all scared and nervous and everything. And we talked about everything from healing and quantum physics and kombucha and how to make your own lotions and oils and soaps and all sorts of good stuff. And then all of a sudden, now you got your own reality show, Internal Energies.
Yes, it's been phenomenal. All the different modalities I've gotten to work with and all the amazing people and beings I've got to work with. It's amazing.
I say one of the best things about having your own radio show, you literally can invite anyone you want on the show. and you get to meet great people, and they get excited, and you get excited. And it's from people I've just met through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. I just send out a message, and then they check out some of my shows and pictures, and then they get really excited. So it's something that is phenomenal with social media. Here on Vegas All Net Radio, I have a lovely time hosting the show every week. I actually have Raquel and Travis from the Float Center of Nevada. They're going to be coming on the show a little bit later, talking about salt beds and salt baths and all that good stuff, you know. And here at Internal Energies, we like to talk about stuff that's relaxing, calming, soothing for the weekend or through the week, whatever the case may be. But that's something that I always enjoy, is going out and treating myself, doing stuff that's fun and different. Because here in Vegas, it's in the middle of the desert. You got to do whatever you can to relax, cool down, try something new. And I went to Vegas Hot, of all places, and I took a Pilates class, which I'd never done. It was in a 105-degree room.
Wow.
My face looked like a beet when I was done. Literally. I have one of those faces that turns bright red when I get hot. But I loved it. It was fun. I sweated more than I'd ever in my life. And I love that facility. And when I went there, I walked by this place, and it had this great graphics on the window, and it said, float. And I saw this great pool, and I thought, you know, that's something I need in my life right about now. Right after I got done sweating my butt off and going in a 105-degree room, and I picked up this card, Float Center of Nevada. I went straight on Facebook. I wrote a message to him. Within a couple days, the owner got back to me. He said, I'm out with my kids. Let me give you a call. He did. That's how easy social media is, people. You can get a hold of anybody through social media. Having a show here at Vegas All Net, you can invite anybody on your show. That's right. So I get to go to Float Center of Nevada next week. So exciting. And
sounds really exciting.
I know.
When my kids first saw it, they were a little disappointed that it was what it was, because I thought they were going to be able to make their own floats.
Oh, they're like, it's a floaty party.
Yeah, but
No,
it didn't
not
work out
quite,
that way.
not
So I
quite.
was really excited when I found out what it was. So, I mean, talk about an amazing way to get away and just have that time to yourself.
Absolutely. And this
Quality
is something
me time.
that's state of the art, you know, in the whole holistic and health and wellness field. They're always coming up with new stuff that I want to try. And this is something that I know is going to work with me relaxing, because every time I get done working out, I go straight into my bathtub, put some Epsom salt, a little baking soda, and then I'm good to go. But if I could go to a place, just lay there, the whole bunch of stuff that's already laid out for me, then you don't even need a bathing suit.
You don't even have to clean the tub when you're done.
That's what I'm saying. Go in there. They do everything for you. That's VIP, people.
Yeah.
So we have here the owners, Raquel Martinez and Travis McQueen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell me how you guys got involved with the Float Centers of Nevada. It's a new upcoming thing with health and wellness.
Well, Joe Rogan is who got us into it. We don't know him personally, but just seeing one of his videos on social media, just talking about how he uses it to develop his mind. It's probably the single most important tool he's ever used, just for developing his mind and working on things and projects and stuff.
Interesting.
So there was a lady who had a tank in her house here in Vegas. So we went there and tried that into 2013. Yeah, December 2013 or November.
Did you just write out and said, I'm interested in the floating?
Yes, we just booked an appointment at the time.
okay.
She was booking appointments out of her house. She's no longer there. But
How
we went-
interesting.
I loved it the first time.
At first, were you guys like, all right, let's try this, see what it's like? And then when you left, you're like, oh my God, we need to make one of these businesses happen.
I was sold the first time. When I float, I see colors, I see faces,
Now,
images.
Let's go back to that first experience.
My very first experience. So she's only got one tank. I think I went first
You went first.
I went first, so she waited. I went in, and your first time, it takes 20 to 30 minutes to, fully relax your first time, because it's awkward at first.
You're thinking, I'm laying this tub, okay.
It's pitch black. You can't see anything.
Oh, wow.
Ours do have lights in them. You shut those out when you get comfortable. You're floating in 1,200 pounds of Epsom salt, okay? So it's just like the Dead Sea. It's impossible to sink.
So how long had this lady been doing this? What is the term for it? Floating in a tub is not it. We went over it earlier.
Sensory deprivation
There we
tanks,
go.
Or isolation tanks.
So what made her want to get into this?
I have no idea. She
She
didn't
just
tell
did it
us.
because she loved it?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Did she tell you? No.
So from there, after your experience, you saw colors and faces laying in the tub.
I did.
In pitch black.
Pitch black, whether my eyes were open or closed.
Did you ever deal with insomnia or stress or something that made you want to go to this location?
I have a teenage daughter, and you can. It's
That's enough right there.
You said
So-
stress.
not just the stress. She's a teenager, and she's a great kid, but she's kind of hard to deal with because she's a teenager.
Right?
So I went in there with the purpose of trying to just work through any issues things I could do to be a better dad,
Get over
Or
the
how-
monkey madness, as
or
they
just
say.
how to deal with things better. And it turned into totally something different, But that's why I went into the tank the first time.
What a beautiful tool, and what a beautiful way to use it too.
Yeah.
To make a choice as a dad there to do something, have a better relationship with your daughter. That's
Right,
amazing.
Right.
And that's true because I definitely agree with swimming and being in a hot tub or in a pool of water, something that is relaxing. There's something about being around water that's relaxing. I'm from the Central Coast. I love surfing. When I wasn't around the beach, when I moved to the desert, there was something about that. So I feel like just jumping in my pool or just being in a
By the water.
yeah, there was something about that just cleared my mind, especially when you're swimming. In the state of swimming, you're just concentrating on your breathing and moving. There's something about that. You're kind of like a baby state where you're floating and you're happy and yeah,
people say.
it's very zen.
They compare it to being in the womb. We have a
Exactly.
little intro video that people watch,
Uh-huh.
and it talks about that's the closest thing you can compare it to. Not that I technically remember being in the womb, but that's what they compare it to.
The original home.
Yeah,
And that's funny because I think a lot of times in life we live from where we were at from when we were 5 years old. That's what they say, like your emotions and stuff kind of dictate when you were raised as a child, and we never remember that.
Right.
But there's something about laying in a pool that is so relaxing. I mean, that's why, of course, some women give birth in a pool of water.
it's programmed. It's in
So-
your brain. I mean, even though we don't remember it, genetically, I think we do.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk more about the Float Center of Nevada. Now, the location is right next to Vegas Hot, which, if you can give that to me, is at
5875 South Rainbow Boulevard, Suite 102.
and floatcentersnv.com.
Yep.
So tell me about the experience if someone comes in. Do they need to book an appointment? Can they just walk in?
Everything's by appointment only. We have
Okay.
4 pods. We don't allow walk-ins, whether we have 1 appointment or 4. It's so quiet back there, even though we have soundproofing. Like if you clench your jaw, you can hear the muscles in your jaw. If you blink your eyes really fast, you can hear thuds.
Interesting.
It's that quiet back there, and that's the point for the sensory deprivation. So we just don't allow walk-ins, so people aren't getting interrupted mid-float.
Sensory deprivation. Let's talk about that.
So basically, again, 1,200 pounds of Epsom salt. You're floating on the surface of water, so you do not feel gravity. We keep the water at skin temp. Skim temp is 93.5 to 94.5. We've noticed most people like it in the 94s, so we could keep ours in the 94 range. So you can't even tell where the water's touching your skin after 5 minutes,
Wow.
unless you pick your arm up out of the water. You're going to shut the lights out once you get comfortable. Those can be turned on and off at any time, but you want to keep them off as much as possible. Some people start with music. We recommend nothing, but eventually that will go off as well, so you can't see anything, hear anything, or feel anything. That's freeing up the vast majority of your central nervous system because all your external stimuli is gone.
I love that.
And then you're going to get in there and lay perfectly still once you find a position you like to float in, and you're basically tricking your brain into thinking you're asleep. So you get into a theta wave state, sometimes an alpha wave state.
You were saying some of the things before you come in for a float is don't drink caffeine 4 to 6 hours.
Right.
And the one thing I wanted to ask about was why don't you shave prior?
It's 1,200 pounds of Epsom salt and 180 gallons of water. Might be a little uncomfortable.
Because of like
You
shaving.
can shave after, you just don't want to shave
Could
prior.
sting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, okay.
It burns. I've
Yeah.
made the mistake of shaving 4 hours before a float, and it's not excruciating, but it's uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I was thinking Home Alone and Kevin when he does that little aftershave burn,
That's kind of what it's like.
but on the whole body.
Yeah.
So funny. And you don't need a bathing suit.
No, we recommend
That's so
nothing.
cool.
Your brain craves stimuli. So, like, she likes to float like this. Me personally, I can't float with my hands behind my head because my hair's so short. All I think's about my little hair is touching my hands because your brain wants something all the time. And I'm not able to get to that point where I'm just totally, let go because I'm sitting there thinking about these little hairs touching my hand.
I think that's a really great price too for people to start if they haven't meditated before, because I notice it's
true.
so hard for people when they start meditating because you hear every sound, you hear every noise, every car that drives by. So I imagine the sensory deprivation tank would be a great place for them to quiet their mind to actually start beginning to meditate.
They say it's meditation made easy, and it is. I cannot meditate at home. 2 dogs, 2 kids in the pod. Like I said, I told you I see colors and faces. I'm just gone. You completely, after you've done it a couple of times, after about 15, 20 minutes, you get where you just forget your body's even there. It's just like pure thoughts.
How beautiful.
And then eventually you just zone out, and you're not asleep, but you're almost like in a dreamlike state while you're awake.
Well, those theta waves, they're very healing for the body.
Right.
It gives the body time to
Endorphins and
regenerate.
everything,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And your stress hormones drop out. I got soldiers with PTSD that come in, and the fact that all their stress hormones are almost, nothing while they're in the pods, they don't get anxiety thinking about what's bothering them. So they're able to go in there and relax. And I've had a few tell me it's the best therapy they've received.
Beautiful.
That's great. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, Salt Beds. Right here on 702 Rocks presents Internal Energies.
We're back. Are you ready for some more magic? Well, here's those magically delicious gals, Minette and Michelle.
Hey guys, welcome back to 702 Rocks presents Internal Energies with
Minette.
and Michelle. How'd you like that?
Oh, I love it.
Ryan is so hilarious.
Who doesn't want to be magically delicious?
Seriously. And hey, if anyone's interested taking a tour here at Vegas AllNet Radio, come on down. They're located at 6655 West Sahara, Suite C216 on the 2nd floor and in the back of the Marbella complex. They also have an iPhone app you can download for free, and you can like them on Twitter and on Facebook. Vegas AllNet Radio. They rock.
Come check out the magic.
That's right. So we're here with Float Centers of Nevada with Raquel and Travis. We're just talking about the salt beds or salt baths. Now we're going to talk about salt beds and why they work. Raquel, you want to tell us more? Put you on. No? Yeah? Come on. So what do you like more?
They're actually called halotherapy.
Okay.
And we have a bed and we have a booth that you can sit in as well.
Uh-huh.
It takes all the positive ions out of the air and puts the negative ions in the air.
Nice. So I imagine like one of those salt lamps. Is it like a big
kinda
one
like-
that you lay on?
It's
Kind of?
similar.
It's a little different. It takes a medical. The bed has Himalayan salt rocks in the bottom. That's what puts off the negative ions.
Okay.
Electronics, everything in the air has got a positive charge. All the dust, all the toxins. So, like the salt lamps in your house, what it does, it puts off that negative ion when humidity or moisture hits it. It immediately evaporates, putting off that negative.
I thought it was just a night light that I licked in the middle of the night.
It'll attach to dust, toxins, and everything in the air, and it keeps it on the ground instead of up where you're breathing.
Oh.
That's how those really work.
Interesting.
But this takes a medical grade salt, and all it means by medical grade is 99.9% free of impurities.
Huh.
It'll take that and grind it up. It's called a halo generator that's on the thing, and it grinds it up into really fine powder and puts an aerosol into the air.
Nice.
Salt kills microorganisms, just like in the Dead Sea, just like in our pods. Same thing with dry salt. We got girls that come in for breakouts, and it clears their face up in about 2 weeks if they use
Wow.
it consistently the proper way. But salt is really, really dry. So as you're inhaling that, and it's only make half a teaspoon through the whole session. Everybody has mucus in their chest. If you work out really hard, you have adrenaline down, so you get mucus in your chest. So it starts absorbing that mucus and moving off your cilia and bronchioles and everything. It's almost like exfoliating your lungs, kind of.
Interesting.
So it just helps open your airways because your body is able to absorb that easier. And
I like that.
It's killing any bacteria or viruses and stuff you might have down in there.
So the Float Centers of Nevada, again, they're located at 5875 South Rainbow Boulevard, Suite 102. Check them out online. Manette, you're a big fan of the biomats.
I am. It's some of the similar things. I mean, that's with amethyst crystals and tourmaline, and it's the frequency that heats it. But yeah, I mean, those positive ions that's what builds up and is the beginning of the disease path on anybody. I mean, you got the free radicals, and that's what builds up and damages the cells because of oxidation. So if you can, get those negative ions, it's really, really healing for your body.
Now, what's the difference? Can someone do both the bath and the bed, or do you not? Yeah, you can do both of them?
We have, like our members, if they sign up for membership for the flotation therapy, for every single float they do, they get a free halo session.
Ah.
There's some that do it before, some that do it after. It just depends on, I guess, how much time they have that day,
I like it. And how long have you guys been open for?
February 1st was our grand
Congratulations.
opening.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
So how do you like it so far? Vegas hot right next door. You got a lot of good businesses around you. Good little complex.
We love it. The landlord's great there. He's in his office is right above us. Like,
nice.
He's awesome. But yeah, we get a lot of people from Vegas hot, and it's been a lot of work, but it's rewarding. It's not like I'm working for someone else and making them all the money. You know,
It's a beautiful facility.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what you're doing too is such a contribution. I mean, whether it's through the healing with the negative ions or
Right.
providing a place for vets to have stress relief or anybody nowadays. We have so much going on externally that, we become so overwhelmed that it just takes that little bit, sometimes that me time to just recharge where,
Right.
yeah.
It's like hitting the reset button. It really is. That's what we get a lot. And when you float, you notice a difference for like 3 days after. Especially for me, I float less now than I did before we opened the place. I haven't floated in like 3.5 weeks just because I'm too busy right now. But I wake up 4 times a night, every night. If I float, I'm waking up once.
Wow.
And I'm staggering to the bathroom. Like I'm just gone.
That's great.
It's really good just for me, for sleep in general, and it's just the way I process information for a few days. I'm more patient with my kids, and just I even drive slower. I'm an aggressive driver, and I'm even driving way slower, if I float regularly. So
you're doing a service to the public of Nevada
I
too
am.
there by keeping the roads
I am.
safer. So that's
Right.
great.
That's beautiful.
she made me take the sticker off the truck because I drive aggressively.
Uh-oh.
She's like, you need to straight it off the truck.
It's like,
Yeah.
what sticker did she have? Call this number
Yeah.
if he's driving erratically. It's her cell
funny.
number.
So Travis, before this, you were a VIP host for 8.5 years.
Yes.
Is that some of the reasons you had problems sleeping because you're up late at night, late hours?
No, I don't know why I sleep horribly. I just do. I toss and turn a lot. I'm a light sleeper. Like
I am too.
The littlest noise, and I'm up.
Like what little noise? Because I'm a light sleeper.
If I hear myself snore, which I do every time, I'll wake up. So that just anything, my dog, like if he sneezes or anything, it wakes me up.
That's so funny.
If she opens the door to the bedroom, I hear it and I pop up. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man, he has his Facebook on the other down the hall on his computer, and all of a sudden it's bing, and I'm up.
Right.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm up. So I could definitely go to float and have a relaxing time. I'm looking forward to it because I always do like a little video wherever I go. So I always like to promote businesses. That's something I'm looking forward to, going to your
Thank
place
you.
and like doing like a before and after picture.
You can come with her as well if you want to.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Just,
But you can't float in the tub with me, Manette.
Oh, no.
I know. No floaties. But thank you so much for coming on the show. Give out your .com, your phone number, any additional information.
Yeah, our phone number is 702-202-0181, and it's floatcentersnv.com.
Awesome. Stick around. We're going to take a social media pic afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
Manette, you've been going and ranting about your guest all week.
We're so lucky to have him here today. I'm very excited.
So lucky. I even gave you a couple extra minutes so you could bring him on.
Awesome. How's it get better than that?
I
Yeah,
know.
with us today in the studio, we have GP Walsh and the Irreverent Sage. You can look him up on Facebook or the internet, but this man's done so much. He's written books. He's started all kinds of amazing programs, and I'm really, really excited to have him here with us today. He's a speaker today at the Las Vegas Health Conference that's in town, and he is right here. He even brought his book with us today, so we're very excited about that. We're going to hear about some of his adventures and travels, and he's bringing some gifts to us here in Vegas. He's going to be hosting some workshops and some trainings and offering some of what his knowledge is to the world here in Vegas. So how does it get any better than that?
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Manette, Michelle. This is really great. This
So
is an honor.
exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. For those people that don't know who GP Walsh is, can you let them know a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been on the spiritual journey for forever. I mean, even before going back into the 60s and the 70s. Before there was a consciousness movement, before there was a Wayne Dyer or Deepak Chopra, actually even before A Course on Miracles had been written.
Wow.
Just very, very early, there was a natural curiosity about how people worked, how things worked, and what's the easiest way to both healing and self-awareness, to know who you are, which is the ultimate blessing, So it's been a tumultuous journey. I'd like to say it was just a great rosy path. I woke up and everything was wonderful.
Ta-da!
After that.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Everything, the angels. Oh,
I woke up today and it's a miracle.
And that's right. And I just skipped from
I'm
that point on.
curious. How did it begin?
It began through a series of very interesting experiences, and one of them actually is a whole talk I do that takes an hour to do it. I call it Original Innocence, but it was an experience I had when I was when I was 19 that just woke me up to the fact that at the heart of each and every one of us is a completely innocent essence that hasn't been programmed, it hasn't been corrupted, it hasn't been touched in the slightest. And that kind of led me on the journey. It was a very intense experience that happened, and it led me on the journey to try to understand why is it that with such an essence of innocence and purity within all of us that things get so messed up. And the first part was easy. To actually see the innocence and to embrace it was easy. The hard part, which took decades, was actually figuring out how everything worked. How did the nervous system work? How do we actually get programmed? Why do we get into the state that we're in? Why is it so hard to get out of it? How is our sense of identity created? And why does it sustain itself even when it's obviously not true? And all of those had to be questions that were questions I had to answer, and it took 30, 40 years to really complete the whole thing. And I finally did in this process that I now call inner reconciliation, which is my process for getting to that, back to that innocence, and from there basically taking charge of all the energy that makes up the human existence, and in the most gentle and benevolent way. And people say that it's the most benevolent, the most gentle and unobtrusive method of inner work. I call it the end of the self-help treadmill.
I love that, because we do. A lot of people, everybody wants something different or something more, and a lot of people know something else is possible, and a lot of people are striving and reading the books and looking at the programs, and I know that's one of the workshops you're bringing here now is the Inner Reconciliation program.
Correct. I'm doing an introduction of it, of the whole process, both in June, and I'll be back to do it again in July as well. What it actually means. Why is it the way it is? And the human being isn't a single thing. Just like the human body isn't a single organ, you have a bunch of different organs that function independently of each other, but they're specialized, so they are interdependent with each other. The energetic psyche is exactly the same thing. You have a part of you that is absolutely dedicated to safety, period. Doesn't care about anything else. Doesn't care about happiness, about wealth, about prosperity, nothing. Am I safe? Yes or no? And it's a very, very fundamental energy in us. And if that was the only energy in us, we'd be ants, right? There wouldn't be much to us. But we have this other equally powerful, equally driving force, which is the drive for freedom, the drive for self-expression. And these two are inevitably in conflict. Right? So being able to resolve the conflict between these without taking one side over the other is the art of it. Because if you get too far into safety, I mean, you're boring, right? You're not interesting. You take no risk. You just
they call those a square.
That's correct. They're a square, right? And they study actuarial tables and stuff and the like. But if you're totally into freedom, you're the total risk taker. Your life's going to be incredibly exciting, but very short. Right, because there's just no the side of you that wants freedom is a sociopath. It has no interest in anything else. No consequences, nothing. It doesn't think in those terms.
So go.
We don't realize that we have both of those in us, and you can verify this very easily. Look at your own life. Look at every decision you've ever made in your life, especially if it's an important one. Any time where there was any kind of internal struggle about what to do, and you'll find that there was an argument going on deep in your unconscious between safety and freedom.
The angel and the devil.
The angel and the devil. Well, actually, two angels with competing points of view, right? Because you need them both. I mean, it's a great little image of the angel. Oh, no, go ahead and do this. No.
But that's another talent of his that I didn't mention. He's done voiceovers also.
Oh yeah, I've done video games and I even did a banking answering machine system. I press 1 for checking, press 2 for savings.
I was going to say, yes, you have a very nice voice.
Thank you.
We're not talking. Well, we were talking about that, but.
Yeah. So I know that what you're talking about, though, is really amazing. I mean, that inner reconciliation, a lot of people don't look at it like that. We just so many people, I guess, are stuck in conflict.
Right. Well, what keeps the conflict in place is we're very identified with one or the other, right? And so if I'm really into freedom, every attempt to inhibit that freedom with safety, I'm going to see that as the bad guy. That's the devil that's fighting me, right? And I've got to somehow get rid of it. And if you look at most self-help techniques, that's what they do. They take a position and they try to get rid of what they have now branded as negative thoughts, negative emotions, and you try to get rid of them, but you can't. They're you, right? They're part of your character, so you can't possibly get rid of them. So you end up kind of pushing them off to the side. You ignore them, you deny them, and that sort of thing. That's why I call them angels in the basement.
Yeah.
But if you withdraw from that position, right, and instead stand back and look at both of the competing energies, you've suddenly put yourself into a completely different position. I call it the light at the center. It's this place where you are capable of resolving every internal conflict you have, because the conflict is only there if you've taken a side. If you take no side, there's no conflict. You're now the mediator. You're the benevolent presence. You're the enlightened witness. And this is really quite demonstrable. I take people through exercises during the workshop, and it's obvious once you experience. You go, oh my God, this is what's happening. It really becomes self-evident. And that moment when suddenly you have stopped identifying with something, it's blissful. It's like floating.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You've traveled around the world. You've given these
Yeah.
lectures and workshops. And
Yeah, it's fun.
have you found your meaning of happiness?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, happiness. And actually, one of the workshops we're doing is called, I think it's going to be in July. It's called Tap Happy. And yeah, I mean, happiness is innate. That was one of the most beautiful discoveries. That the moment you are not attaching your happiness to any person, place, or thing, you realize it's been there the entire time. And you stop projecting it on any object, and happiness becomes your permanent state. It's not something you have to acquire.
I feel like I need a GP keychain when I'm having a bad day. Just press a button and give me like the enlightened phrase of the day. Make me feel better.
Choose happiness.
Maybe like one of those squeezy balls.
Yeah.
GP on it.
And you
Yeah.
do hear that happiness is within, so
Well, it would have to be within, right? I mean, I couldn't project it on anything if I didn't have it.
yes.
So it's a very simple process, really, that happens, and we all do it. You know, we want something, and the pleasure of attaining what you want is very nice, right? But that what happens is if we say that, okay, I'll be happy if I get that thing. Suddenly, the happiness, which is there the whole time, has projected itself. Now, if you don't get it, you feel unhappy. If you do get it, you feel the happiness, and we mistake the happiness as somehow originating in the object, when in fact, the temporary absence of the desire for it has simply sparked it made you aware of the existence of the happiness that's been there the whole time.
Is that why I'm addicted to shopping?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much. But to find the happiness within is not the end of shopping, so please, nobody worry.
Thank you, GP. I still love you. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
It's not the end of shopping.
Start a
I got
helpline right
scared
now.
there for a second.
It just means you're happy before, you're happy during, and you're happy after.
Yay.
3 happies.
3 happies. The happy continuum.
Love it.
That's right.
So we were talking about you've traveled all over the world. Tell us about some of your experiences and some of the people you've got to work with.
Wow, I've worked from everything from single moms to Wall Street brokers to various kinds of spiritual teachers, to people who have no interest in spiritual things whatsoever. One of the advantages of having done this for 40 years is that I can pretty much speak anybody's language. I've been exposed to so much. And combat veterans are one of the most satisfying things I've done, using an energy technique called EFT to help some guys. I mean, one guy who hadn't slept through the night in 40 years.
Wow.
I mean, guys who won't go out during the day because they're afraid of what they're going to do, so they'll shop at 2 in the morning.
That's
And
crazy.
I just remember this one guy, this old guy from the Vietnam War, folks, and he's telling me that he went to a movie in the afternoon. He had first time ever. Another guy had actually been able to go to Walmart. It took a long time to, one step at a time to the car, drive by, park on a lot, right? I mean, just one little step at a time till finally he could walk into a place without getting triggered and not afraid that he was going to hurt somebody.
How does that make you feel?
Oh my God, it's like humbled.
Start on your journey at 19, and now you're changing people's lives.
It's humbling.
They're going shopping
Yeah.
at Walmart.
The more I look at this stuff, the more I realize that, I used to be really smart. I used to think I had it all down. I could read people. I could tell what they were going to do. I was, I really had it down. The more I really began to work with just the pure energy of life, the humbler I became. I began to see how stupid I really was and how much more I just kind of trust the innate intelligence that's in every single individual. And now my main job is creating a safe environment. And once that safe environment is communicated to the system, it immediately begins to let go of its defensive posture. And it starts to move from defense to expression. It's so natural, it's just stunning to see it, and fast.
It sounds like a really beautiful space. I mean, we're not resisting, reacting, or aligning and agreeing and constantly bouncing around. It almost sounds like that neutral place of bliss you're talking about.
It is. Well, it's your natural state. It's a natural state that has simply been disturbed by experiences, and the experiences kind of get programmed into the nervous system. The nervous system picks them up, regards them as being, well, this is the nature of reality, this is what I have to be. And so, when you experience things as a child, whether it's a severe trauma of abuse, or if it's even just a minor diminishment, or just being out of sorts, out of place, your parents don't recognize your talents, they're just not like that. It sends a message to the body that you're not okay the way you are. And so the system is brilliant. It comes up with all the behaviors necessary for you to appear to be okay to them, so that you get fed and taken care of, right? Survival is the watchword. And everything else gets pushed to the side. And after a while, that begins to become your identity. You begin to think that that's actually who you are. And then within that space, all these other feelings and emotions and desires, and of course it's not really who you are, so you have desire for things. You reach out to try to get things in order to try to fill that up, and they never do, right? And so eventually it all begins to come back to yourself, and you realize that that's not who I am. It never was who I am. And in fact, that original innocence is still in play. It's still in place, and all of this has been nothing but a fabrication by the nervous system to keep you safe. So it's not even you. It's never been you. That's why I can say originally innocent, never corrupted. You're still there. You're still there, absolutely intact. So now it becomes a process of teaching the nervous system that it's safe. It's okay. It can come out now. And it is just amazing to see, because the moment it realizes that it's safe, the switch flips. It goes immediately from self-defense to self-expression.
Do you have any mentors that you worked with?
Oh, I got a lot. Some of them I get to call my personal friends. When Genpo Roshi, a Zen master, Jack Canfield is a good friend of mine. Barnett Bain, who made the movie What Dreams May Come.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
Yeah, everybody loves that movie. Barnett's a good friend of mine. My goodness. Oh, geez, there's back from people when my first line of study was metaphysics. There's various kinds of Zen masters, Nisargadatta, Maharaj.
And how did you meet all of these amazing people?
Just kind of, you just kind of like want to meet them.
Right.
When you get so hungry for this stuff, the desire to be in the presence of people who actually are there, right, is just stunning. And so you make it happen. It was a clever little trick when I met Jack Canfield, so I managed to time it just right so he was alone on the stage.
It's all about timing.
Right? Nobody was around. Everybody's going back to their seats, and hello, Jack.
I bet you were nervous.
And for a second, but we immediately hit it off. And he actually, shortly after that, we did an interview together. He invited me to be part of the TLC. It was just like an instantaneous connection. So whoever you are, whoever you want to meet, don't be the least bit intimidated by how big they may seem. I mean, there's few people bigger than him. Just go out and stretch out your hand, say hi. And it really is a good way to build your a practice or a business if you're a healer for a living. If that's how you make your living, you've got to connect with mentors. And believe me, people who are doing, we want to talk about it. My entire life now, because I'm older, my entire life I created the Master Heart Institute, and the whole point of it is to just prepare the next generation.
So let's talk about that, the Master Heart Institute.
That's your baby, right?
That's my baby. That's my baby. It's where I prepare people to step into the fullness of who they are, and to do it for others. I want to prepare the next generation of leaders. This is my legacy. This is what I want to leave behind. I want them to feel empowered to be able to, I think consciousness is happening. It's all over the place.
Yes.
We have to fan it. We have to develop to the point where it becomes the dominant influence on the planet. And to do that, we have to create new practitioners, new teachers, new healers, new people that are just touching people one-on-one or touching them by the thousands. We have to do that. And those of us who have done it are kind of at the end of the spiral. We have an obligation to do that. I mean, this is a classic journey that the cultures take, that our cultures are, because it's so economic based now, has missed. But this is the role of the elder. I've stepped into my role as the elder, and the job of that is to make sure all of this wisdom gets
We are
passed
listening.
on.
Yes,
Open ears.
Yes, we appreciate so much sharing that wisdom, because, like you said, when you can offer that to the next generation to help encourage people or have the tools to choose consciousness or a different reality for their life, and not just reacting to this one and thinking, like you said, here we've got the innocence, and then we spent this time in judgment thinking we had to fix something.
Right.
So we spent our whole life, it seems like, with this little crooked foundation off of the innocence, and we realize that can all come down, and we can return and reset and just
And
be.
come down very quickly. Very, very quickly.
That's beautiful.
And it's lovely. I've created 2 forums, one specifically for men called the Balls Project, and one specifically for women called the Integrated Woman. And I'm really amazed at the audience that it's attracting, because in the Balls Project, it's mostly men between like 25 and about 38, which is like the sweet spot for me. I mean, it's like that's the next
Finding who they are, their purpose,
my
the
goodness.
whole meaning of life.
Oh my goodness! And boy, am I preparing some quality men for women.
Oh, I feel like 300.
Thinking,
Oh, it's like a
exceptional
battle.
fathers and-
Nice.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's just all, and it's amazing to see it. And again, it was part of the reconciliation. These are young men. They've all the things young men are interested in, right? And this deep desire for spiritual truth, for spiritual awakening, and every one of them was conflicted about it. They just couldn't reconcile between themselves this passion. I'm a guy, I like the girls, right? And these other guys in this other part that just wants to go to the mountains and sit in a cave, and reconciling that was just so powerful that they could actually have both sides.
That's why they just clunked Jane over the head and drag her in the cave. That's what usually happened, I thought.
Yeah, that's not working anymore. It's not so effective.
That's not a technique that's very successful anymore. Yeah, speed clubbing, right? Nope, you're not going to work. Nope.
It's speed dating. What are you talking about? Speed dating. So when's your next lecture or workshop?
Well, the next the next workshop is going to be, I think it's the 25th, the 27th, and the 28th. I'll be doing a satsang. If anybody doesn't know what a satsang is.
I don't know what that is. I was just about to ask.
It's very simple. It's there's no particular subject. You just sit with an experienced spiritual teacher, and you just talk about whatever it is that's on your mind.
It's pretty great.
I like
he opens up
that.
the space for anybody to ask any question you have, and it's really just a really open forum for him to share his wisdom and his tools. I went to one, and it was great.
Yeah, just specifically to whatever's on. I just ask people to bring whatever is important to them, any place they might feel stuck, anything that they're interested in, any way they want their spiritual or personal growth to be enhanced, and we just bring it into a space where it can grow all by itself.
Where's it going to be held at?
This one is going to be held at, I have the address here somewhere. It's up here at the top.
Somewhere
here,
on the flyer is the
somewhere.
address
Is it
to
where the last
the
one was?
satsang.
No, it's not going to be there. And the
Can we phone a friend?
Yeah, and we'll
Yeah.
post all of it too on our
here
Facebook
it is. Sorry,
and the
sorry, it
internet.
is on the thing. We're going to be doing it at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, and the address is 1420 East Harmon Avenue in Las Vegas.
And that's
14.
the satsang, right? And then you have
All three are going. All three for 3 in June and the 3 in July are all going to be in that space.
Nice. How
so-
much are the sessions?
The satsang is $10.
Oh, that's nice.
To come. I made it very, very reasonable, and the 2 introductory courses are both $45.
Now, what about your book? Where can we buy your book at?
The book, you can buy it from me.
Mm-hmm.
You can also buy it on CreateSpace on Amazon.com as both as a hardcover and as Kindle.
The
It's
Tao
available as a
of
Kindle book.
Allowing
Tao of
by
Allowing.
G.P. Walsh.
Tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, the practice of allowing was really the first phase of inner reconciliation. I realized that people were so disconnected from themselves. They were so unable to simply be with their own feelings. Your emotions have been characterized as so negative, and you'll hear it a lot in self-help talk about getting rid of your negative emotions, and then you try to do it and you find you can't, right? And the reality is you can't, because they're not negative. We've simply taken natural human emotions, we've characterized them as negative, and when you're a little kid and you express your natural emotions, if it meets with the disapproval of your tribe and you suffer because of it, you characterize them as negative. So from the point of view of the natural survival mechanism, if you display a behavior, and it can be the very best part of you, and the environment doesn't accept it, it becomes dangerous, and over a while it just gets characterized as negative. So the first thing I had to do is teach people how to actually be with their feelings, and the Tao of Allowing is that there's also actually a full course that's got about I think it's got about 13 hours of audio exercises and about another 20 hours of video. It's a whole training of how you get to the point where allowing things to happen is your natural state.
Nice.
And that's the first step of the process, because before you can begin to reconcile your inner world, you got to listen to it.
So one of the things that I think that Manette was telling me about was you need a little help with social media. Because I was going to say, give out your social media contacts, but then you are on Twitter.
I am on Twitter.
And you are on Facebook.
Yeah, I am on.
And the Master Heart Institute people can like the page and go to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I am there, but I'm pretty good as a teacher. I'm just really horrible as doing the rest, which is why I have a manager now to help me kind of whip me into shape, so I'm in the real world now, social media.
Nice. What do you think about all this technology and social media and stuff
well,
like that?
Well, believe it or not, all of this stuff is obviously new to me. But believe it or not, in one of my other lives, I was a technical architect consultant to Fortune 500 companies. I designed the world's first international ATM system. I designed the switching system for Merrill Lynch and the New York Stock Exchange.
Do you have the space shuttle I can sign up for? I'm ready to go.
So I'm not intimidated by technology, but I do find it. I'm not intimidated by creating it. I'm totally intimidated by using it.
Aww.
It's like
he's the creator.
It's like, what? What do you do? What? And it's
come see me. I'll be your mentor. No problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is the queen of social media.
I'm going to send my manager to you, because my eyes will just gloss over at this point, and I just want to teach.
I love that.
However much time I have left, I want to spend making sure that people are prepared. And this is how we're going to transform the world. Mm-hmm. Like your previous guest. There are so many of us that are out there that are bringing these incredibly valuable gifts to the world.
Oh,
the
yeah.
world needs to know about it. It needs to be prepared for it, and it needs to realize that it ain't no joke.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening, whether you like it or not. The shift in consciousness is happening.
Yes.
We're not causing it. It's happening, and we are the result of it.
Yep. But I think it also has to do with the person and their pursuit in finding that happiness in whichever way that may be.
That's exactly the case, and that's what's so beautiful, because it is an awakening. We don't do these things because gee, that'd be really nice, or I could make a lot of money at that. We do that because something inside goes, this is important. This is
go with your gut feeling.
Significant. Yes, and you begin to trust it.
Mm-hmm.
And we go, wow, this tells me the truth more often than these other guys do.
That's
maybe
true.
I should listen to that. And that's happening more and more.
I love
just
that.
See it happening more and more. Whenever I see it, I just chomp at the bit.
Me too. We have people are creating that space and making their own choices and following their own knowing and awarenesses, as opposed to following everyone. Yeah.
And it's simply a matter. It's simply a matter of training. It's
Mm-hmm.
simply a matter of learning to trust that. And you need to have guides and mentors in order for that to happen, because especially when you first get into this whole thing. And usually most people have the experience of when they start doing something new, some kind of a technique or a process, and it works. And they, well, this is really great. And they're kind of expecting the primrose path from there on in. And then suddenly somebody goes, wham! And it doesn't work, or it falls apart, or some major thing happens. And they go, what happened? What did I do wrong? The answer is nothing. Did nothing wrong. This is part of the process. It's a development. Spirituality isn't about making you a perfectly beautiful bed of roses. It's about developing your character to the point where nothing phases you anymore. Your inner resources are just so available that it doesn't matter what happens. You remain in the state of equanimity and poise. And that's the real blessing. Not making a perfect place where it's easy, but making you easy within any place that there is. And that's the transition that has to take place.
And I do think that people like to learn. And I do think that people sometimes have to go through mistakes. But I think every single day is a life learning lesson to
Absolutely.
something that they can learn from every day.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, that space you were talking about. Maybe no good, no right, no wrong, no judgment, just choice.
Just choice.
Just choice.
Pure choice. And the choice is driven by your, at that point, when there's no extra overhead on it, those choices are driven by the purest part of your nature.
Love
The
it.
real you is making those choices.
And you're here this weekend for the Health, Healing, and Happiness Expo, June 13th and 14th at 1 p.m. and 1:45. They can come see
They
you
can come
speak.
see me speak.
And you'll be
Yeah,
speaking
isn't it?
about tapping happy.
Yeah, it's a health expo, so I'm going to be speaking about the emotional freedom technique and how a very, very simple technique for stress reduction and also very deep trauma relief. I've used it on some severely traumatized
I
people.
love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an amazing modality and
it's
tool.
an amazing and amazingly simple too.
And this is at the Tuscany, so you can come here, GP Walls,
Ooh,
talk
they
some
have
more.
good pancakes there.
Yeah, it's going to be an
I like
amazing
that
event.
place.
It's the largest health and healing expo in
And
Vegas of the year.
Speaking of, we were playing Laura Wright's music, and she was playing at the Tuscany just 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
What a coinky dink.
How's it get better than that?
I know. So, JP, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, ladies. That was wonderful.
Travis, Raquel, Float Center of Nevada, thanks so much. Manette,
Thank you so much.
how does it get any better than that?
How does it get any better than that?
Magically delicious. That's right. Here every week on the 702 Rocks presents Internal Energies on VegasAllNetRadio.com. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Have a beautiful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.